The opioid crisis is one of the most talked about public health issues in the United States today. Recently, according to CNN, opioid deaths in the United States have just surpassed motor vehicle deaths in leading causes of death. The crisis began in the 1990s. After an increase in opioid prescriptions by healthcare providers. Over the next 30 years, opioid deaths have increased to over 115 a day from both prescription and illicit opioid drug use in the United States alone. In addition to opioids, including pain relievers, synthetic opioids such as fentanyl and heroin. It is estimated that between 21 and 29% of all patients who are prescribed opioids for pain will end up misusing them, according to the National Institute of Drug Abuse. In the last several years, this health crisis has made national headlines as more and more people are affected by these overdoses. Healthcare providers are being made more aware of the dangers of overprescribing and are taking steps to reduce the number of prescriptions to prevent addiction and overdoses. These steps are designed to address the growing number of overdoses and deaths that misuse opioid medication can have on patients. For decades, opioids were ignored by the vast majority of the public. After all, there are drugs to be more concerned about. Marijuana and cocaine, among other drugs, were being illegally brought into our country from drug traffickers from South and Central America. These drugs came with images of cartel kings in Mexico and Colombia and violent drug encounters with inner cities of America. Opioids were being prescribed by doctors after all. Men and women who wore white jackets and drove nice cars, had degrees from prestigious universities, and who had taken oaths to help their patients. Over the next couple of decades, the dangers of overprescriptions and the widespread addiction in the United States came to light, showing that even though these doctors meant well, the drugs themselves were causing long-term harm, and the number of deaths continued to increase in frequency. Now, 30 years later, opioid overdoses have affected people from every community, ethnicity, nationality, religion, and socioeconomic status. Not only are these opioids that have been prescribed, but there's also a rise in illicit drug use as well. This graph here shows the total number of overdose deaths, and you can see by each separate line here is a different type of opioid death that was reported. And as this dark blue line right here is the overdose death rate, but this lighter blue one is the rate of prescription. So as the prescription rate rose, so did the death rate. Now that it started to taper off, the death rate hasn't quite caught up to tapering as well yet. The reason opioids are affecting so many people is largely due to being prescribed by medical professionals. In the late 1990s, pharmaceutical companies often incentivized medical professionals to prescribe their specific painkillers, oxytocin, oxycodone, and fentanyl, to patients, advising that patients would not get addicted to these types of prescriptions. Therefore, physicians started writing prescriptions at a larger rate for opioids. Contrary to what the pharmaceutical companies stated, opioids are highly addictive, easy to get, and paid for by medical insurance, allowing for almost anyone to have access to these narcotics. Another major side effect for those addicted to prescription opioids is that when their prescriptions are out, they'll oftentimes resort to street drugs to provide the same high that they had under the painkillers' effects. Heroin is the most common form of non-prescribed opioid-based drug available today. In fact, heroin is made from the same substance as morphine. Not only can this cause for overdoses, but also other side effects like disease from sharing needles. It is estimated that 46% of people who misuse opioids transition to heroin. There are various types of opioids that are commonly used today in prescription pain medication. Morphine is one of the most well-known types of opioid medications and has been used for centuries to combat pain. Morphine is naturally found and synthesized from the poppy plant. Hydrocodone and Oxycontin are other types of opioids that are also used in various strengths to treat both acute and chronic pain. They have been used for years and are commonly found as street drugs. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid that recently became more common as a treatment for severe pain that is unmanaged by other types of painkillers. Most commonly, it is used for palliative treatment of cancer patients. Recently, this drug has been mixed with other types of opioids and can be found in various pill forms being sold on the black market. Methadone is a special type of opioid that is designed to combat opioid addiction. It is one of the most common types of medication used to help those addicted overcome their addictions. What other options are there? Should pain just be suffered through? An often overlooked form of treatment is massage therapy. Massage therapy is the manual manipulation of muscles and skin tissue to increase circulation and relieve muscle tension. It can, however, help with more than just hand muscles. Massage is one of the earliest healing practices. It can be found in writings as early as 2000 BC. Not only does it date back thousands of years, but it has multiple modalities to help different types of illnesses and body ailments. Many cultures, both Eastern and Western, have utilized various modalities of manual massage to help manage the pain of musculoskeletal conditions. According to Patricia Donahue, the former chair of Swedish massage program at the New York College of Health Professionals, massage therapy can tap into the body's own natural ability to relieve pain. Massage therapy releases endorphins, enkephalins, and dynorphins. These are the body's own naturally produced opiates, which improve blood circulation and cellular activities to encourage body wellness. Roller massage with a foam roller or other device is common myofascial intervention. Rehabilitation professionals may utilize different types of rollers within their setting of specific patients. Researchers have postulated that the mechanical pressure on these tissues may modulate pain through stimulation of cutaneous receptors, mechanoreceptors, central pathways, and descending pathways. Massage therapy and other forms of conservative treatment may be a viable alternative for musculoskeletal pain in lieu of the use of opioid prescriptions. Manual and conservative therapy is not the solution for all types of pain, but in non-cancer patients who suffer from musculoskeletal pain, a good option would be a referral for conservative treatment before opioids are prescribed. These types of treatment could be massage therapy, acupuncture, chiropractic, physical therapy, exercises, diet, and nutrition. All of these are options that should be considered prior to writing prescriptions for habit-forming medications. The one exception should be cancer and other diseases that cause severe pain that does not respond to manual therapy or conditions such as severe burns. Massage therapy is an effective treatment for pain management. Most clients respond positively to physical therapies, including Swedish massage, heat, and gentle stretches. A study in Halifax at a withdrawal clinic demonstrated its use on patients while they were undergoing withdrawals from psychoactive drugs. In the study, half the patients underwent the clinic's standard relaxation therapy, and the other half received chair massage. Over a 3 consecutive day period, where each patient was asked specific questions and utilized a specific rating system, those receiving massage therapy received a significant decrease in their anxieties that were caused by the withdrawal from the drugs. Another study in a pediatric outpatient clinic dealt with patients living with chronic pain, distress, tensions, discomfort, and mood alterations. Of the portion of these patients that were selected to relieve massage therapy as part of their treatment from July 2006 to May 2007, all reported significant decrease in negative symptoms and emotions related to their health. These studies and others show significant positive impact massage therapy can have on patients' health. If patients are given more options at the beginning of their care, they may be less likely to return requesting strong medications like opioids for pain management. Networking between physicians and massage therapists and even other alternative treatment practitioners can lead to improved patient care and avoidance of opioid use. Many preventative approaches, however, are not covered by medical insurance. If these services were not only recommended by physicians, but could be covered by insurance, it could lead to less need for paid management prescription drugs. To treat those suffering from opioid use disorders, medical assisted therapy is a comprehensive way to address the needs of individuals, which combines the use of medications with counseling and behavioral therapies. In October of 2017, in Virginia, a public health emergency was declared by the president. At that point, 59,000 lives had been lost from the misuse of opioids in 2016 alone. It took some time to figure out a plan and to allocate funds, but last month, Virginia received $20.4 million to be able to combat the opioid crisis that has been ravaging the state. These funds will be used to combat overdoses and support medical staff in their struggle to help patients that have been suffering with these addictions to opioids. There is starting to be progress in the fight against opioid abuse. The best method to overcoming this addiction is to avoid the possibility of becoming addicted. When a patient walks into a doctor's office with musculoskeletal pain, massage therapy should be higher on the list than any medication to help treat and even resolve the pain. Referral networks with alternative care providers should be accessible at primary care offices. If these services are what doctors write prescriptions for, the insurance companies may eventually catch up to covering these as easily as they do medications. Taking initiative and expanding the availability of options in public health is the first step to overcoming the epidemic of opioid use and addiction in America.